on Friday, the former Arsenal footballer Thomas Partey was charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, charges that Partey denies. Now, this case has caused an awful lot of discussion, and on social media in particular. There are lots of questions that remain unanswered. Well, our football correspondent, Rob Dorset, is here to address some of those questions. One of them is about timing, Rob. Just after he left Arsenal, this all came about. Is that a coincidence?
It is, I think, but I can understand a lot of discussion on social media and amongst football supporters, Arsenal supporters in particular, that say it's a heck of a coincidence that Thomas Partey was first arrested on suspicion of rape 3 years ago, July 2022, and yet he's charged a few days after his Arsenal contract expires. But that is a conspiracy theory and there's no grounds in it at all. I can tell you Arsenal have absolutely no influence over the Metropolitan Police or the Crown Prosecution Service. And in fact, the Crown Prosecution Service is independent of the police. And so the Crown Prosecution Service will only bring charges forward if they believe there is, quote, a realistic prospect of conviction when they present the case in court. And once they'd looked at all the evidence that the Metropolitan Police had given them, they felt that was the case with Thomas Partey at this particular time. And to give you an idea of the timescale, Partey was first arrested on suspicion of rape 3 years ago, July 2022. The Metropolitan Police have been investigating ever since. They passed a file to the Crown Prosecution Service just after Christmas in 2024, I've been told. And then an updated file was given to the CPS in April. It's that update which the CPS have acted upon. Now, it is possible for the police to accelerate an investigation if they think that the suspect might be planning to leave the country. So it is possible that the Metropolitan Police accelerated their investigation knowing that Thomas Partey would be out of contract and could go anywhere in the world, knowing that it might be difficult to get him back here to face charges if they were brought at a later stage. But we don't know that's the case with Thomas Partey. There's been no suggestion that's the case, and the police and the CPS are clearly silent on this because it's an ongoing case. So try and ignore what you're seeing on social media. It's understandable that people have questions, but there's no wrongdoing or no conspiracy here at all involving Arsenal and certainly not the Metropolitan Police or the CPS.
All right, I have one question for you then. So, arrested in 2022, why didn't Arsenal suspend him then?
Well, that's a very good question. They could have done. And again, Arsenal aren't making any comments on this because the matter is, we expect, going to court, probably in 2026. Arsenal, though, have a very difficult job here, as any employer would. They have conflicting rights to look after. They have an obligation of care to the person who's been arrested because they are innocent until proven guilty. The employer, in this case Arsenal, also has an obligation to its other employees. And my understanding is that Arsenal did follow all of the legal advice they were given right from the point of arrest in 2022. And they made sure that safeguarding was in place to reassure other members of staff as well. But there's a lot of things they have to think about. There's the legal implications. There is the reputational damage that could happen if, at some stage in the future, Thomas Partey is convicted of these very serious allegations and they were seen not to act earlier. But also there's a financial one. We know that when Manchester City had a situation with Benjamin Mendy where he was charged with sexual offences, they suspended him at the point where he was charged. And then he was cleared of any wrongdoing. And he, Benjamin Mendy, took Manchester City to court and won £11 million in damages for unpaid wages. This situation with Thomas Partey, I understand, if they'd suspended him immediately when he was arrested, it could have cost Arsenal tens of millions of pounds, potentially, in any legal claim that came back their way if Thomas Partey is eventually found not guilty. Now, I'm not saying that there were financial motivations here for Arsenal. I'm saying it's a very complex situation for any employer. But it's clear that Arsenal have faced some criticism for the way they've handled this, and that will continue, I think, right up until we get to a court case. Thomas Partey himself has denied any wrongdoing. He's due to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court Tuesday, August the 5th, to answer those 5 charges against him. He's a 32-year-old free agent, so he could potentially, Mike, go and join another club. But anybody who wants to employ him now will know that he has these 5 counts of very serious sexual assault hanging over him.
Rob Dorset, our football correspondent. Thank you very much for that, Rob.